Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a typhoon day in Taiwan?
Well, for government workers, a typhoon day is a mandatory day off. But for employees in the private sector, it's a safety precaution for employers. Whether or not to have a typhoon day is decided by the individual mayor or county commissioner in the particular jurisdiction. I think there's a big misunderstanding among many people in Taiwan that typhoon days are a legal holiday. I would just emphasize they're not. And your employer can call you in, and you may not get paid overtime for that. So there are a lot of very unhappy TSMC employees because apparently they're all working on this typhoon day just like they've worked on every other typhoon day for the last 30 years. But it is something that uh, does affect relations between employers and employees because it goes against what today's employees expect.
So, are there any constituencies or groups that are opposed to taking typhoon days?
Absolutely. Employers, small business owners will be unhappy about typhoon days getting called. Um, there are all kinds of wild estimates about how much a typhoon day might cost an employer. Some people are saying up to $1 billion a day. There are other people saying that a factory with 1,000 workers might pay 3 to 5 million in overtime on a typhoon day. So they're not going to be happy about that. And then small business owners have rent to pay, so they're not going to be happy about typhoon days.
So, then the decision on whether or not to have a typhoon day can actually be controversial?
Absolutely. There's probably three different ways that they can be politically controversial. The first way is that employees today really look forward to these typhoon days. And if your city doesn't get a typhoon holiday, but the neighboring or the next one over county or city does, there's going to be a lot of disappointed voters out there. And then there's more direct issues. Here in Taipei, a lot of people don't have street parking or a parking lot to use. So they park out on these extensive parking lots past the flood walls near the rivers. Taipei City closed the gates to the parking lots earlier than New Taipei City did. And right now, the Geelong River is pretty high. So there's a lot of car owners with cars out there that they can't retrieve who are upset. And if their cars get flooded, they're going to be unhappy voters. And finally, there's another way that it can become politically controversial. It has happened in the past that the mayor of a city has called the typhoon holiday on the morning of the day. So they delayed and didn't do it at 8 o'clock at night like it's normally done. And that totally disrupts people's childcare and work arrangements and that sort of thing.